In this video, Tesla flexes hard and swings around their gigantic positive impact on the world in the latest Tesla Impact Report. I'm going to run through some of the highlights. There's so many juicy nuggets here, especially for Tesla stock investors, and this report is also a fantastic source of information to counter the endless torrent of anti-Tesla FUD. Before the impact report, quick look at Tesla stock today, down almost 1%, less than $8 per share. It's been a very bumpy few months. First, we have Elon selling some stock, then the market panicking, plus the funds getting ahead of the trade to make more money. That causes stock to get absolutely reamed. Then widespread panic throughout the stock market, the macroeconomic environment, a lot of uncertainty, people worried about interest rates, blah, 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 blah. Many investors fleeing growth stocks to supposedly safer investments. Probably won't age well. And then Elon Musk offered to purchase Twitter. Just to put stuff in context, let's have a look over the last 6 months. Tesla stock has peaked around $1,200 multiple times in the last 6 months, yet today it's $865 per share. We've seen massive sell-offs, over 20% from early November to late December 2021. Very similar story, peaking around $1,200, coming all the way down about 36%, rocketing back up, and once again falling through the floor. The stock market can be entirely unpredictable, but in my opinion, if we pull things out a little bit further over the 1 year, Tesla stock may be a little ahead of itself in November, then collapsing. Elon selling Tesla stock. Okay, Elon's done selling. The very act of selling itself causing the stock to get reamed. Tesla stock rebounds violently, up over 30% in a matter of days. And what do you know? More factors that have absolutely nothing to do with Tesla's business. Stock gets creamed down almost 40%. Then, when the fear exits the market, suddenly Tesla stock rocketing up once again over 40%, almost 50% in the span of about 2 weeks. And sure enough, then what happens? Elon makes a bid to buy Twitter. Stock market panics, plus the macroeconomic environment down almost 25%. The question I want to ask everybody watching, especially the Tesla stock investors, is, had these unforeseen and entirely irrelevant events not occurred, where might Tesla stock be trading today? My suspicion is that Tesla stock would be breaking new all-time highs. Of course, I could be wrong, but I am putting my money where my mouth is. And again, broken record, I know, but gotta say it. Tesla stock today, $865 per share in early to mid 2022, in my opinion, best risk-adjusted opportunity in the stock market that I'm aware of. See you guys in 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, and 20 years time. So let's get into the video. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. Here we are, Tesla's 2021 Impact Report, link in description to the full document if you want to follow along. It's about 145, 150-ish pages, most of it relevant apart from one section that has absolutely nothing the fuck to do with Tesla's business whatsoever and shouldn't be present in the document, but some virtue signaling woke shareholders force Tesla to share such things that have nothing the fuck to do with their business, impact on the world, or execution. Anyway, let's get into it. Forward on impact. Current ESG evaluation methodologies are fundamentally flawed. No shit, Sherlock. Recent example of this. Shell, a petroleum company, currently has a better ESG rating than Tesla. Enough fucking said. To achieve acutely needed change, ESG needs to evolve to measure real world impact. Oh, what a crazy controversial idea, Tesla. You guys are crazy. Just quickly want to touch on this. What ESG measures today? Investment risk. What ESG needs to become? Company impact. Totally agree. Quote, in 2021, the global fleet of Tesla vehicles, energy storage, and solar panels enabled our customers to avoid emitting 8.4 million metric tons of CO2 emissions. Now, if you're wondering what a metric ton is, that's approximately one of your girlfriend. It's a lot. And a really fascinating statistic here, something that I'm a little bit surprised about, but in the good way. Quote, Tesla solar panels have generated more electricity than has been consumed by our vehicles and factories between 2012 and 2021. This is a huge milestone. Think about that. The net impact Tesla has had on planet Earth already today, the operation of every single vehicle they've ever produced, the production of every single vehicle they've ever produced, every factory they've ever operated. Between 2012 and 2021, Tesla solar panels on customer roofs and their own has generated more energy. This is amazing to see. Over that time, Tesla solar panels have cumulatively produced 25.39 terawatt hours of energy versus 25.27 used by Tesla factories and other facilities, plus their vehicles. Pretty incredible. Talk about a positive impact. Some juicy insights here, Tesla doubling down on some of their previously stated goals. Quote, by 2030, we are aiming to sell 20 million electric vehicles per year compared to almost 1 million in 2021 and deploy 1,500 gigawatt hours of energy storage per year compared to, wait for it, historic 4 gigawatt hours in 2021. Now, if you're really bad at math, Tesla approximately 20x increase in vehicle production and approximately a 400x increase in energy storage. Lofty goals. Look forward to seeing how close Tesla comes to hitting the mark on both of these in about a decade's time. We are looking at global greenhouse gas emissions by economic sector. We can see globally electricity and heat production accounting for 31% of global emissions, transportation 17%. In the US, however, electricity and heat production around 35%, even higher. Shout out to a future Tesla HVAC system, and transportation a whopping 30%. So you can understand why Tesla's targeting transportation initially. If you're interested in any clues about Tesla's future intentions, plans, and potential products, take a moment, pause the video, look at these pie charts and think to yourself, where would Tesla next get the best impact and the best ROI on their efforts? Quote, our employee count has grown about 70-fold over the past decade, and in just over 10 years, Tesla has created nearly 100,000 direct jobs. Please do not tell this to any of the progressive and or far left-leaning Democrats in the United States who constantly take dumps on Tesla, Elon Musk, and billionaires who add no value to society and don't pay their fair share of taxes. Special shout out to Reich, Sanders, and Karen, Elizabeth Warren. Tesla global employee count here, fascinating chart. Notice something interesting happened in 2018 to 2019, a slight decline in headcount. Let me know in the comments below if you remember what was the cause of that. I certainly do. And an extremely bullish sign for the future of Tesla. Number of applicants continues to break records. Long story short, Tesla had approximately 3 million unique job applicants in 2021 globally. This is a very positive and important trend. Great people want to work at Tesla. Tesla has their pick of the bunch. And as many of you will know and many won't, quote, engineers want to work for Tesla. No shit, Sherlock. According to Universum 2021 rankings, engineering students want to work for Tesla and SpaceX more than any other organization. And here's the stats. Top choice for graduate engineers, Universum 2021 survey. Number 1, SpaceX. Number 2, Tesla, aka Elon's companies. Imagine that. The world's best and brightest engineers, and also the world's worst and dullest engineers, every engineer basically, wants most to work for Elon's companies. NASA coming in at number 3, Lockheed Martin at number 4, Boeing, Google, Apple, Microsoft. Where's all the automotive companies here? I'm not really, a top 10, not a single automotive company other than Tesla. Oh, here we go. Number 17, General Motors. 20, Ford. 21, Toyota. 26, BMW. 33, Honda. You know what this means? All of the best engineers and the worst want to work for Tesla. We saw the 3 million applicants for a single year. Of course, most of the engineers get rejected because they're not up to scratch. But Tesla has their pick of the bunch of the world's elite, top 1%, top 0.1% engineers. Ford, General Motors, even Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple are getting the leftovers. This really matters. Quote, exceeding comparable manufacturing role compensation. Please, nobody watching this send to the UAW eggplant deep-throating corrupt president of the United States, nor anyone else who claims that Tesla needs to unionize their workforce because they're not getting paid enough. Idiots.
But I know who built the middle class, the unions. Unions built the middle class. To build these vehicles and batteries are good-paying union jobs. Jobs with benefits, jobs that are going to sustain continued growth of the middle class. That means purchasing incentives for consumers to buy clean vehicles. Union made right here in America. For vehicles made in America, an additional $2,500 credit for union-made vehicles. We're going to do everything in our power to encourage and protect the right of workers to unionize and collectively bargain. Expanding union jobs, expanding the middle class. When I hear climate, I think jobs. Good paying union jobs.
In 2021, Tesla's average national wage for manufacturing jobs in the US was $21.60 an hour plus benefits. The mean hourly wage, as in the average hourly wage for production associates and assemblers in the United States, is $18.17, and the median, right in the middle, $17.59. So the next time you hear any horse shit about unions and good paying union jobs and blah, 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 you've seen Biden do that whole one. Yep, Tesla pays their employees better than the union shops on average. Just saying. A very positive trend here. Employee satisfaction over time. These are Glassdoor ratings. We can see Tesla employee satisfaction trending up pretty significantly over time. And regarding injuries, we're looking at global recordable injuries per 1,000 cars produced. Injuries in blue, cars produced in grey. Again, trending in the right direction. Always room for improvement here. I look forward to the day where this number is 0. We're now looking at average life cycle emissions in the United States in grams of CO2 emitted per mile. What we're looking at along the bottom here, different use cases, Model 3 and Y, used as ride sharing, solar charged, used for personal use, solar charged, ride sharing with grid charging, and personal use with grid charging. We can see here in every scenario you can imagine, And by the way, this includes the manufacturing phase. We'll talk more about this in a moment. There is no question, a Tesla, even if it's charged from the grid, far fewer lifetime emissions than the average premium ICE vehicle in the United States. It's not even close. And as the grid becomes greener, more renewable energies, the difference is amplified. Now, I just want to take a moment here because there's always a few examples of the Dunning-Kruger effect when you explain to somebody driving an electric vehicle, especially a Tesla, much better for the environment overall. And then, of course, Einstein will respond, "No, it's not. You didn't think about all the emissions during the manufacturing process, you dumbass. I bet you didn't think about that." Just wanted to once again reiterate, this is including manufacturing of the products. I just don't even. So the next time you hear from one of these clowns, maybe show them this page in the report. For reference, it's page 60. I'll zip through this pretty quickly. Same data, this time, however, for China. Different grid, less renewables, blah, blah, blah. Still a major difference. Much better to be driving a Tesla than an ICE vehicle. Quote, more efficient than a Prius. Performance of a Porsche. Well said, Tesla. Quote, now this is some juicy stuff, especially for Tesla stock investors. Tesla robotaxis will be even more energy efficient. It is also reasonable to assume that our high mileage products, such as our future robotaxis, will be designed for maximum energy efficiency as handling, acceleration, and top speed become less relevant. What we're looking at here, energy efficiency, EPA range in miles over kilowatt hours in terms of the pack. Small SUVs, Model Y here dominating every other electric vehicle in the category. Over on the right, energy efficiency for mid-sized sedans, same story. Tesla head and shoulders above everyone else, and I really mean that. I really want to emphasize that point. This is everybody else. Tesla is further ahead of number 2 than number 2 is of number 5. If I'm being honest, the e-tron actually should have been called number 2. If you don't get it, not going to explain it. Same deal here for the Model 3. There is a huge gap between where Model 3 is and number 2. Number 3 almost on par with each other. And again, the Audi steaming pile of feces really struggling. Building new, better designed and more efficient factories. Building a factory from the ground up with sustainability in mind can have a material impact on reducing energy use. For each component that requires less movement around the factory, and as we use fewer robots in the vehicle production process, energy consumption declines. And again, from a Tesla stock investor's point of view, less energy means less money spent producing products, meaning higher profits and or lower prices they can be sold to customers for. This really matters. Good for the environment, great for the bottom line. We can see here the absolute clusterfuck that is the Model 3 production line in Fremont, California. Again, Tesla bought this factory for a penny on the dollar in the wake of the global financial crisis. They didn't build this factory from the ground up, so they're making the best of what they've got, but it is an absolute clusterfuck. Meanwhile, the Model 3 production line in Gigafactory Shanghai, beautiful, efficient, and has resulted in a 17% improvement in terms of the amount of energy required per vehicle produced. Again, if you're a Tesla stock investor, pay very close attention to this. 3, leveraging AI to make our factories more efficient. I'm sure you've heard many people in the past explain that Tesla's just a car company. Please make sure that they never find out about this or they might change their mind. Quote, we are leveraging 6 years of sensor data from Gigafactory Nevada to train an artificial intelligence program to safely control 195 interconnected HVAC units, accounting for 6 megawatt hours of total electrical load. In its first full year of operation, yeah, that's right, Tesla's been doing this and using this AI for more than a year. We have measured significant load reduction compared to baseline usage. AI control is expected to achieve significant energy savings for Tesla as it is scaled up to control a majority share of HVAC equipment at Gigafactory Nevada, as well as HVAC equipment at other Gigafactories, okay? Let's just recap here. Tesla has trained AI, one more time, Tesla has trained AI to control their heating, ventilation, and cooling, and are seeing significant reductions in energy used as a result. You think GM or Volkswagen or Ford or any other automotive company on the planet has developed, trained, and deployed AI to manage the HVAC systems in their facilities? It's a trick question because obviously not. Tesla continues pointing out more things they're doing to reduce their carbon footprint even further. Number 4 of these, transitioning to in-house manufactured 4680 cells, whose production process can reduce energy consumption by more than 70%. Again, from the Tesla stock investor's point of view, we know this is great for the environment. 70% less energy, 70% less money spent on energy producing the battery cells means lower costs, meaning more profits, and so on. The new dry electrode process allows for the direct transition from a cathode or anode powder to an electrode film, reducing energy consumption in the overall cell manufacturing phase by more than 70%. It does kind of make you wonder what were the other battery cell manufacturers doing the last few decades, given the fact that this process would save so much money and time, yet it took Tesla, this car company, coming up with the process. Tesla also pointing out that the batteries are designed to function for the entire lifetime of a vehicle. Quote, creating a battery that could last for 1 million miles. Again, if you're a Tesla investor, sit the fuck down and pay close attention. Creating a battery that could last for 1 million miles would dramatically reduce the emissions per mile driven for high mileage vehicles such as taxis, delivery vans, and trucks. 3 products that Tesla guaranteed will produce in the future. We already know about the Semi, they've already talked about the dedicated robotaxi, and yes, a Tesla van will be coming as well. A single future Tesla vehicle with a 1,000,000-mile battery could be utilized over 5 times more than an average vehicle in the United States. There's always some dingbats out there, FUD spreaders who make shit up about battery degrading over time. Page 67, feel free to refer them. What we're looking at here, the Tesla Model S and X battery degradation over time. Along the bottom, distance traveled in thousands of miles. We can see here, capacity at 100% before any miles driven. After 200,000 miles, battery capacity somewhere around 85%. You'd barely notice. Quote, Semi offers an opportunity to have an outsized impact on greenhouse gas emissions from transport. Summed up beautifully here, what we're looking at here, effectively, the percent of the US fleet made up of semi-trucks, 1.1%, versus the amount of emissions they count for, close to 20%. You can see here a huge impact, a huge ROI. In short, Tesla Semi is going to make a huge outsized impact and also make Tesla many billions of dollars. Any materials that are possible to recycle, we recycle. At Gigafactory Shanghai, for example, just 7% of total waste generated in 2021 was not recyclable. Once again, another chart where Tesla seems to be a major outlier. We're looking at water withdrawal intensity in vehicle manufacturing. Basically, water usage. The lower the better. Giga Berlin leading the pack. BMW impressively number 2. Gigafactory Texas in at number 3. And Tesla overall globally in 2021 number 4 spot. Possibly my favorite page in the entire report. Talk about a cheeky headline. Emissions credits, accelerating deployment of new factories. You know, there's companies paying Tesla hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars per year to buy their zero emission vehicle credits so they don't face massive fines for not producing enough sustainable, renewable, clean electric vehicles. Yeah, well, Tesla's literally taking that money and building more factories to ultimately put those clowns out of business. I mean, it's literally in their report. Look, emissions credits, accelerating deployment of new factories. Tesla's competition is literally paying them to put them out of business. It's just bizarre. Emissions credit revenue is used for EV capacity expansion, which in turn displaces ICE vehicles. In 2021, we generated almost $1.5 billion in revenue selling zero-emission regulatory credits to other OEMs. This is kind of like paying a guy who slid into your wife's DMs to take her out on dates. What even is this? Proceeds from such sales will go towards building new factories to produce EVs that will continue to displace ICE vehicles and ultimately bankrupt the ICE manufacturers. In 2021, Tesla delivered almost 1 million EVs globally. We hope that every car manufacturer will wait for it, this is hilarious, will strive to produce hundreds of thousands of EVs per year. Think about this for a moment, they didn't say millions. Tesla themselves are aiming to be producing 20 plus million electric vehicles in just 8 years' time, in 2030. Words matter. It's no accident that Tesla didn't say, we hope that every car manufacturer will strive to produce millions of EVs per year, because they know, 1, it's not going to happen, and 2, there'll be no need because Tesla's going to be filling that void almost entirely themselves. Just take a moment to look at EVs produced per year by automotive manufacturer. Once again, Tesla a major outlier, VW Group coming in second place, but really around half of Tesla's current volumes. BYD, not even at VW, and it's a joke. Apart from Tesla, VW and BYD, none of these manufacturers really producing any meaningful volumes of EVs at all. And Tesla is increasing their rate of EV production much faster than any of these other companies, meaning their lead will accelerate. This chart next year and the following year is going to be even more embarrassing for everyone other than Tesla. Quote, Model 3 is the first EV in history priced competitively with its gas-powered equivalents, even before taking into consideration any regional subsidies and lower running costs, which, by the way, lower running costs make a huge difference over the lifetime of ownership. Unfortunately, most other EVs on the market today are often priced at over a $10,000 premium compared to their direct ICE vehicle equivalents. Why? Because the other companies can't make them as profitably as Tesla. They don't make any money and they still need to charge more. Meanwhile, Tesla makes industry-leading profits and can charge less. That's awkward, and that's also one of the reasons why these companies will ultimately go bankrupt. We can see here the starting price of mid-size premium sedans. Model 3 is in the same ballpark as Mercedes C-Class, BMW 3 Series, and Audi A4 vehicles, but it gets even better. Over 5 years of average driving, the ownership cost of a Tesla Model 3 is closer to a Camry than a 3 Series. Now let me know in the comments below, how long do you typically own a car for? Very compelling chart here. Total cost of ownership in terms of dollars per mile for 5 years of ownership, which is 60,000 miles. Notice the Model 3 rear-wheel drive here is almost the same as a Toyota Camry, meanwhile BMW 3 Series considerably more. And again, this is just 5 years of ownership. The longer the ownership time, the lower the overall cost. Something I wouldn't really have considered at all, but quite fascinating. The longer the range, the higher the usage. We can see here, average annual miles driven in the United States. Tesla Model Y owners in the United States per year are actually driving substantially more than an average vehicle. Might have something to do with the fact that it's just fun to drive a Tesla, or there may be other reasons behind this as well, but it's interesting to know. Most long-term investors will know this, but just in case you don't, quote, "Safety is our top design priority. At Tesla, safety features are not optional. Our full suite of safety features comes standard with every vehicle. When we design vehicles, first and foremost, we want them to be safe." Now, a lot of people still just cannot accept this. They don't get it, okay? A lot of people think, oh, Tesla tries to make cars that look nice. No. Tesla tries to make cars that perform well. No. Tesla wants to make cars with cool software. No. Tesla wants to make efficient cars. No. Safety is the fundamental, the primary design directive when Tesla designs a vehicle. Everything else is secondary. People don't get this. Tesla's engineering their vehicles from the ground up to be as safe as possible. That's why they're winning every award ever for safety and literally the safest vehicles ever tested. It's not an accident. Many other automotive manufacturers will either sacrifice safety for aesthetics or performance, or alternatively, they'll actually engineer their vehicles simply to get high ratings in safety tests rather than to actually be as safe as possible in the real world. More on that in a moment. Tesla recently introduced their safety score. This initially was to gain access to the full self-driving beta program. This is obviously now being used for insurance premiums as well in parts of the US. The point here, really simple. Tesla now has enough data to demonstrate, just by providing safety scores and real-time feedback on driving behavior and how it affects safety scores, Tesla drivers with access to safety score are now safer than every other driver on the road on average. And check this out. Collision rate per million miles ranked by safety score. Those with the highest safety scores in Tesla vehicles, in the 91 to 100 range, having far fewer accidents per mile than anyone else. Look at the data for yourself. By the way, if there's anyone out there who happens to be in the 0 to 60 safety score range, on behalf of every other human being on the planet, please get the fuck off our roads. Thank you. A quick look at a little bit more safety data. Euro NCAP safety assist rating here back from 2019. Not the most up-to-date data, but again, look. How surprising. Tesla, once again, in a league of their own, in a good way. If you've been around the channel for a while, you've probably heard me say that Tesla is dominating on everything that matters. This is what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter where we look. Dominating on everything that matters. Not most things, not some things. Everything that matters. We're now looking at the number of vehicular accidents per million miles driven. On the left, Tesla vehicles with autopilot engaged. In the middle, Tesla vehicles with no active safety features engaged. And the total US vehicle fleet on average. Pretty strong difference here. Obviously, you can argue autopilot, generally speaking, only on highways, blah, blah, blah. I get that argument. But the point is, we have very strong evidence that people driving Tesla vehicles, on average, are less likely to be in accidents than others in the United States. For the Tesla owners, let me know in the comments below. Have you had your ass saved by autopilot or any of Tesla's active safety features? A situation where the car was able to react faster than you could have and avoided a major collision. And now, a really fascinating insight, one of my favorite pages from the entire report. We're looking at vehicle safety data. Tesla pointing out that there's too many common impact scenarios visible in the heat map below. We'll go into a bit more detail in just a sec. That is simply not covered by regulatory crash tests. And this goes back to the point I was saying. A lot of automotive manufacturers just try and game the system and get good scores at the crash safety tests, which are completely unrelated to safety in the real world, as Tesla's collision data points out. Now let me just explain what's going on here. We'll get in a little bit closer. Our algorithm uses vehicle sensor data and, within tens of milliseconds of impact, determines what type of impact has occurred and triggers the seatbelt pretensioners and airbags to respond in the most optimal way, down to the millimeter and mile per hour. The way that Elon explained this a year or so ago on the Joe Rogan podcast, basically, the car's constantly paying attention to where are you in your seat? How much do you weigh? You know, is this a kid? Is this an adult, etc.? What's going on? What would the optimal way be to deploy airbags and stuff if there were a collision? And it's constantly adjusting this, literally down to tens of milliseconds. And as soon as there is an impact, the car's already in a situation where it knows roughly the optimal way to deploy the safety features, airbags, and so on, and does so. This is dynamic safety. It's not dumb. This is AI-powered safety features in the event of a collision. How many other automotive manufacturers are doing this? That's a trick question again. None of them. What I really want to talk about here, however, is this heat map. What we're looking at here is real-world test crash data. The cloud of yellow points is Tesla's collision data recorded by their own fleet, basically looking at different parts of the car. Up here is the rear of the car. Down here is the front of the car. You've obviously got the sides as well. Regulatory collision test, grey data points. These are the impacts that the regulatory tests look for. We've got side impacts on both sides. You guys understand, right? We've got front and rear impacts. Plenty of those. But what about everything else? What about all of these that aren't accounted for? That's stuff that isn't tested. And so if your goal as an automotive manufacturer is just to get a high score on the collision tests for safety, it's fine. You just need a few key areas where you're fine, you're good, no problems. Tesla doesn't give a flying fuck about that. Instead, they're trying to make their vehicles as safe as possible, and they have the data to see where are the collisions happening. This is important to understand. And now onto vehicle fire safety risk. Quote, fire incidents are approximately 11 times lower for Tesla vehicles than the average vehicle in the United States. Of course, you wouldn't know this if you pay attention attention to the, I'm going to say it, fake news, would you? Tesla continues. When the media reports a story about a vehicle fire, it is usually reporting an EV fire. This is likely the result of chasing clicks and having no integrity, rather than the prevalence of EV-related fires compared to ICE vehicle-related fires. Hit the nail on the head. If you ever hear from one of your bell-end friends, although why do you have bell-end friends in the first place? The Teslas catch on fire all the time. Just take them to page 90 of this report. Assuming that their brain functions at least a little, they'll probably be able to figure out, oh, wait a minute, the data shows something different to what I thought was reality. I love me some stunning logic, and this is something that I've said in different words about Tesla's vehicles and energy products in the past, but let's hear how politely Tesla says it. The beauty of selling commercial storage systems such as Megapack is that purchasing such a product is almost purely a mathematical decision for our commercial customers. If installing Megapack makes economic sense, and in most cases it does, there is no reason not to install one. This is really important. The way that I would say this and have repeatedly in the past is in these types of situations, from a commercial customer's point of view, where the numbers are what really matters. Doesn't really matter about this, that, and the other aesthetics. I don't care. It's not going to add 2 inches to my small dong or who cares, right? Commercial customers aren't, at least shouldn't be making emotional decisions. And the point is, Tesla's products are so compelling economically, financially, that you literally need to be a fucking moron not to buy them. Or as Tesla said, if installing Megapack makes economic sense, there is no reason not to install one unless you're an idiot. That's kind of the point. Tesla's making products that are so financially compelling that you have to be a moron not to buy them. Pretty good business model, if you ask me. Key quote here I really thought was worth sharing. In 2021, Tesla sold 4 gigawatt hours worth of energy storage products, more than 15% of the 25 gigawatt hour global market. So give or take, Tesla today has approximately 20% of the global EV market. That's with a thriving EV business. However, their energy storage business, which let's be honest, has been lagging behind. As Tesla said, they prioritize cells for vehicles, not energy storage. If they have enough extra cells, then they do the energy storage products as well. They're still capturing about 15% of the global energy storage market today. Insane. Chart is worth a billion words. This one sums things up perfectly. This is a very strong trend. Tesla energy storage deployments over time. Bonus points if you take the time to consider what might this trend look like if it continues in 3, 4, 5, 10 and 20 years time. And finally, another very juicy piece of intel. Every Tesla battery factory will recycle batteries on site. As the manufacturer of our in-house cell program, we are best positioned to recycle our products efficiently to maximize key battery material recovery. So spoiler alert, at some point in the future, Tesla is not going to be needing third-party recycling companies, and this is just another way for them to reduce costs, vertically integrate, become more efficient and more profitable as a company. For the nerds out there, this is pretty important. Let's say you have 1,000 kilowatt hours of end-of-life batteries. Nice round number. First, you start physical separation, literally just pulling shit apart. Then you go to black mass enrichment, then to the purification process, losing about another 2% there, meaning your recovery rate is about 95% of the key raw materials. 1,000 kilowatt hours of end-of-life batteries in, 921 kilowatt hours worth of raw materials for battery production. Close to a 100% recovery rate. In other words, far enough into the future, we'll no longer need to mine for these resources and materials because we'll have enough in the ecosystem that we have enough end-of-life batteries and products that can be recycled that we'll no longer need to be getting these resources from the earth. It's probably going to take a couple of decades to get there, but this is a point we'll get to. And here's a cool picture of a Tesla in a sunset or a sunrise because why not? Hope you guys and girls have enjoyed this overview. Some of the highlights of Tesla's 2021 impact report. Took a little bit longer than I expected, but hey, it was just a taste. Like I said, I really do recommend if you're a Tesla stock investor in particular, or you're a skeptic who thinks EVs are the horrible for the environment because you've heard something from someone and didn't actually think for yourself, I highly recommend read through the entire report. 144 odd pages, so set aside half a day or more, but it'll definitely be worth your while. And finally, don't forget you can join Patreon with the card in the corner or the link at the pinned comment. Brand new Tesla stock price targets recently been updated. Bear case, base case, bull case and hyper case all the way out to 2032. At the investor support level and above, you can access my Tesla valuation model, and all Patreon supporters, all levels, also gain access to well over 100 exclusive Q&A videos and loads of other content and perks as well. So I'll see you over on Patreon. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.